system. No, I must place the unions in proper perspective for people to understand.
Hello and welcome to the program. And of course, the budget pardon controversy continues to take a new twist every passing day. Now, Speaker Yakubu Dogara had actually given the former chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation, Jibrin Abdul Mumin, now 7 days to retract all the allegations leveled against him or face legal action. But guess what? Honorable Jibrin has made it clear he would not do so and that he is actually ready to meet the Speaker in court. In the midst of all this, we have seen the spokesperson of the House, Abdul Razak Nandas, issue a fresh statement where he accused Honorable Jibrin of fraud and doctoring the budget. He also tried to dissociate the House from the allegations made by the former chairman of the House Appropriation Committee, giving the impression now that the lawmaker was on his own. Well, another twist has now been added to the whole saga, with a group of lawmakers in the House of Representatives calling themselves Transparency Group, demanding that Speaker Yakubu Dogara and other principal officers mentioned in the matter be investigated by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Now, the Transparency Group says it has collected 113 signatures of lawmakers in the lower chamber to compel the Speaker to explain discrepancies in the 2016 budget. This is simply an unending drama.
While we do not hold brief for Honorable Jibril, and we do not claim to be speaking for the entire House, we are of the view that Honorable Abdurazak Namdas has no mandate of the Honorable House to speak on his behalf on the allegations made by Honorable Jibril against some principal officers.
On the day we passed the budget, for you to know where the crisis started, Honorable Professor Mojid Alabi raised a point of order when Mr. Speaker came with his gavel to pass the 100 billion zonal intervention fund. It was 60 billion. We only saw 100 billion at the chamber. We did not know where the 40 billion came from. And when Professor Mojid Alabi raised a point of order, he was overruled by the gavel of Mr. Speaker.
Let nobody deceive Nigerians that what happened is not pardon. What happened is pardon by all definition. So what we want is an investigation that will prove whether this our leader did this or they did not do.
Joining me now to discuss this further is the chairman of the Labour Party in Lagos State, Biodun Popola. Thank you very much for coming on the program. Are you surprised that we're having this? You know, we had thought before now that this whole budget padding saga or the budget padding issue simply had to do with the executive, but now it is coming to light that the lawmakers actually had a hand in it.
No, no, I am not surprised. I can't be surprised. I'd mentioned in different, with whatever opportunity I'm being offered to talk about it, that we have a dysfunction in the polity. We have a dysfunction in the different systems and blocks that forms the New Day democracy. We also have a dysfunction in the way we practice democracy. Now, unfortunately, I would tell most people that we don't even have democracy. Why? Because I've had the opportunity to live in neighborhoods where they practice, not just live, participated, in one or two, some who became the President of America, for instance. And so I understand what it takes to own something, because it takes ownership for you to be able to improve on it. So the first dysfunction we've had, and why you shouldn't be surprised, is that we don't even have democracy.
So what exactly do you make of these allegations? They're quite weighty.
Yes, they are, but you see,
coming from a man who used to support the Speaker, who was like the right-hand man of the Speaker.
What I need you to understand is still back to where we're coming from. You see, first and foremost, because it's not a democracy, what we have are just political parties with self-made interest. And so once there is a disconnect in what brings them together, you're bound to see things like this. I want you to know that, look, the Nigerian society is equally guilty of this. When men with good values come to them that please vote for me, they don't vote, they're asking for money. So those people sometimes grew up thinking, look, the only way I can get back is if I have stolen so much so that I can satisfy the needs of the people who will troop out to vote for me for the next. And they hardly ever do anything. They amass this wealth enough to wait for the election time. We've seen instances across the divide of this country where men of good name and integrity come out. I mean, I don't want to mention names. And it's people, people of high competence professionally. And he said, look, I'm going there to serve you. So it starts with you and I, and then it graduates to the mentality of the people that we've sent to these houses. What is their exposure level? What is their intellect level? What is their professional level? Are they men of value? Do they come out from a background where they understand? Because the Bible, my Bible, tells me that understanding is the fountain of life. Without it, you're nothing. It's like a house that's empty. So are those people coming out with a background where they understand the language discipline? It takes a disciplined soul to be contented. It takes even a disciplined soul to be happy that today I'm a senator. You know, it's the mere fact that you're a senator for a reasonable person, it gives you leverage above every other person.
I mean, no question at all. But now, what would you say to those who would say, for instance, that, look, asking the ethics committee to investigate this, you probably would not see justice done, so to speak, because the Speaker of the House and this principal officers who are there appoint, exactly.
I agree with you.
And then we saw at some point, we saw the spokesperson of the House coming out to make even counter allegations against this member who has just accused the Speaker and this principal officers and has made it clear that, look, the accusation is not against the entire House, that he does not intend to disparage the House, but that his accusation is against the leadership of that House. I mean, he mentioned names.
Yeah,
and then you have the spokesperson of the House coming out now to speak for these people as if it was the position of the House, forcing, of course, these 113 members to now come out to say, look, the Speaker, the spokesperson was not speaking our mind, that, look, this thing should be investigated by an independent body.
You see, if you look at this objectively, the House has never been in house unified on issues that concerns Nigerians. It might be different, but on issues that concerns why they are there, for the purpose for which they think they are there, not why they should be there, they've been divided. As you speak today, there's a lot of politics going around. A lot of aggrieved souls trying to use this as an opportunity to eat the other camp. These ones are fighting for survival. And that's why I say they are distractions. Because what I am trying to tell you is that in those two houses, none of them, in quote, has integrity. In quote.
Well,
in quote. Enough to stand out and begin to question the other.
Well, some people will tell you that there are actually some very good men in both
Some
houses.
people will, but unfortunately, you can't be clean in an unclean environment. You can't find clean waters in an unclean water. It's not. These are practical issues. Nigerians like to deceive themselves. The process for which they even got there is extremely corrupt. Was extremely corrupt, will continue unless we internalize democracy.
Okay,
but back to this issue, because that's important.
Very
the
important.
truth of the matter is, it's like beyond destruction. It's a shame that these are the kind of legislators we have. It's a shame that this is the kind of principal actors, despite the change they've been singing and shouting about, that the system could throw up. You know? And, in the instance of the budget, you know how we had to go and come and go and come.
Exactly, and now we're beginning to see why all of that happened.
You see? That's what it tells us, because I need to answer that question first about the ethics thing. I am not against the EFCC taking it over. I have not said so. I am not even against Nigerians. Nigerians should go to court over these issues. Some aggrieved Nigerians should speak for the people. What are the NGOs? Where is Nigerian Labour Congress? And the so-called people who seem to say at all times that they are fighting for our interests. Because this is a very interesting aspect of, can you imagine what 250, that amount will do in the lives of the poor ones across the divide? So it's even beyond what they are doing to themselves, because whatever they are doing, there is drama. I am telling you, and you'll come out to find out it's pure drama.
How do you think this is going to end? How do you see this playing out?
That's why I said they are mere distractions. What has happened to the handless ones that came ahead of it? I need you to answer that question. From Kogi to Senate, from Senate to Port Harcourt, River State, from River State now we have Abia. If they are all mere distractions, they always come, negotiate themselves out of these things, or perhaps, make Nigerians look as if
But you know what, to tell you how serious this is, this is the very first time that a member of the House, not just an ordinary member, but a chairman of a committee would be coming out to accuse the leadership of the House of high-level corruption. This is pure high-level corruption, pure and simple.
Oh yes, it is.
So
there's no doubt about that.
It's serious.
It's beyond serious. The word serious, I think you're playing it down. It's a criminal issue. But the process should start from somewhere.
Exactly.
I'm a process person. There's no amount of anything anybody will say that'll make me change from that aspect.
Exactly.
Because it's the same distortion of the process that's brought out all these human beings you're talking about. Same distortion of process that's made us never to get it right and get the right people in the right place.
So for you would expect the ethics committee to call...
Not necessarily ethics. I will expect what needs to be done within the House objectively to address the issues. For instance, if you've done something wrong to me.
But do you think this is an issue that the House on its own can actually crack?
That's why Nigerians should move beyond the House. We're talking about house to house. Members to members, there are processes. But for me as a Nigerian, you and I can go to court and begin to ask questions. So there are two ways. But I'm still a process person. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? For them, let the law, let the process, the flow, let it just go. Don't let's get overexcited about anything because, look, I know those people. If I can know them too well, I think I should know them. I'm the chairman of a political party.
Exactly.
And I contest. I was the deputy governor for Labour Party in the last election. So let's get it straight. I know those people. Most people wonder what's a pastor in MFM doing in politics. I sometimes ask myself, there's no other way to describe them as what the Bible calls principalities and powers. They are worse than you can imagine.
Well, if you ask me, good men should be in politics, and in politics should not be left to bad people.
That's right. I support that. I think, but the truth is, we need Nigerians to also talk. We don't talk. We don't ask questions. Beyond the ethics, beyond EFCCs, you and I can wake up and say, look, this will not go under the carpet.
Well, we'll just wait and see
this cannot go under the carpet. This much money in a country that's bleeding. Same way I bleed when I see the president throwing a party for his daughter when Nigerians are suffering. No, there's a lot of wrong. There's I don't know what maltreatment is not a good word. Well, for the Nigerian person. These are the people that pay the taxes. They're the ones that lines up under the...
Well, in this case, they will tell you they were just trying to serve the taxpayers, padding the budget to serve the interest of their constituencies.
That can't be true.
And the interest of their people.
What people? People that they hardly ever go back home to see. Most of them live in Abuja. I can tell you the truth. Unless they hear there's fire on the wall, that's when they run back. Or it's time for election. The wise ones sometimes go back to do things because they know they're coming back. But what exactly do they do? You need to quantify what they do compared to what they take as constituency allowance. If you understand how much is being taken out of the commonwealth of this nation, you will see that even what Dogara and his men has padded,
it's just child's play.
It came out of you. So you know them.
Thank you. We just have to end it here.
So you know them.
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for coming on the program. We know this is an unending drama, and things will continue to unfold in the coming days, weeks, and months. But we're very eager to see how this all ends. But honestly, this has to be investigated, and if anybody is found guilty eventually, no matter how highly placed that person is, then the person should just be made to face the consequences.
No, just say go to jail. No, don't change it. The person should go to jail.
Let's dress it up.
No, don't freshen it up. Do you know how many poor people are in jail?
Let's just dress it up.
Let them go to jail.
Okay, go to jail.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on DEJI360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.